And then again, you'll need probably a couple of blankets, or bath towels are great because they have sort of the same firmness. Belts, we'll use that for a little hip work today. And blocks or books, something of height. So with that said, let's get started. Yoga is a steady and comfortable posture. And Patanjali says, as we come to master posture, and we take that word master with lightness, then we are ready to begin to bring our attention to our breath so that we can marry breath and movement together. So as you start in your Shavasana, which is a posture, but we'll call this a sloppy Shavasana for starting. The sense, notice your body, your outer shell, your armor. Especially when there's a lot of uncertainty going on, it becomes our armor. So are the areas that seems really hard, ungiving, and unrelenting. Just let your breath gently flow to this area for inviting of softening, for ease. The breath flowing in and flowing out. Each exhalation, let there be a sense of arriving at home, arriving into ease. And then let's begin by just sweeping the legs in and out, keeping your ankles soft, your knees soft, letting the whole legs just roll in and out. It's a gentle way to lubricate the labrum around the hip socket. The synovial fluid, the joint juice, does not get secreted unless we actually use the joint. And I do think that the yoga practice is pretty phenomenal at getting us well juiced and lubricated. And just slowly let go of this action. And then let's begin to slide one leg up, keep the heel down. So just like a little supine tree pose, and we'll go to the other side. This is not a big, hairy deal, but now just from internal and external rotation, we are adding a little bit of flexion to the hip socket. And as always, just move in a way that is comfortable for your body. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Notice if the sides feel even. It's one side a little easier, a little smoother. Can you use that side to tutor the other side? That's a little bit from the somatics teaching. But just an easy, gentle slide. Feeling good doesn't have to be hard. That is, of course, pure and all right, let me move the legs. Let's finish it up. And we'll just let the legs relax again. And notice, has anything changed in how your body rests? Maybe there's a little bit more awareness of your legs and hips. We'll take the arms out to the sides and just like the palms facing up. And then we'll draw the right leg up, heel stays down, but this time we're going to dip it across the center line. So there's a little bit of an arch. And then we just let the knee go back out and sliding it out. Slide the left leg up, dipping it across. Let there be a little pumping action in the hip and low back. But let it be an easy movement, just with gentle effort, but no strain. Listen to your body and where it wants to go right now. Maybe you want to begin to let the nose travel opposite of the knees. For a little spinal movement. I should say a little bit more spinal movement. But right now, we're just thawing out, increasing circulation, both in terms of blood, but also lymph, secretion of hormones. This is why yoga is really good for the immune system. It's a little tune-up every time we get on the mat. Let's just do it one more time on each side. And then we'll release back out. Notice if anything changed now around the low back or belly. Maybe the breath flows a little easier. And then here, bend up the knees. Oh, I take that back. We can take the hands behind the head. Take the hands behind the head. We're going to get the long seam too. So press out through the right heel and the right elbow. So many of you have already done this. I'd like to include this in the sequence because it helps open up the side seam. Help opens up the side seam. And you may notice that one side seems a little shorter, a little more sticky than the other. So allow the breath and your awareness to bring ease. Ease of movement, ease of mind. And now as you come back to center, let's take the knees up. And just press the elbows into the mat. And then exhale, flattening, curling up. Slowly release back down. Releasing the elbows out. Take a full breath in and out once the elbows have released down, and then inhale, press the elbows down. Arch the low back, and exhale, flattening. Draw the elbows up and curling up. And just one more time. Buffer breath. And arch the low back, press the elbows down. Flattening. And we curl up. And let's release. Releasing the legs long. And just sense again. So this could be just a gentle going to bed practice. This first part, it just sort of unnoodles, unsticks, and restores balance. Now let's take our strap and bend up the knees. So I folded my strap over. So I'm going to create little hooks for my hands. Let's hug the right knee in. hugging the right knee in. Now have your blanket nearby. And we'll strap the right foot, strapping the right foot. And today, as you measure, I'm going to shorten my strap off a little bit here. Now have the strap around the toe mount. I know that feels like we're getting away with something. But today around the toe mounts and not the front of the heel. And then spread the toes really wide. So we keep the toe mounts very active, pressing up. And then at the same time, draw the hip towards the floor. So it's very easy when we do a hamstring stretch to really lift the whole hip up with the foot. So from last week's practice, draw the knee into the hip joint. That will help anchor the hip down. And then if the leg is straight up, or almost straight up, let's straighten the left leg out as well. Straighten the left leg out. Now keep the elbows straight, broadness across the chest. Keep anchoring the knee down into the hip as you press up through the toe mounts, pressing up through the toe mounts. Also, second action, draw your outer right hip towards your left foot to ensure that you're not shortening the back of your right waist, the QLs. So the hip has two actions. It's both drawing down to the floor and down towards the left heel. Steady and easy breath. When there's ease in the body, there's ease in the breath. When there's ease in the breath, there's ease in the mind. And when there's ease in the mind, there's meditation. So your yoga practice becomes moving meditation. Now take the both strap ends into your right hand, or I should say take it into your left hand first, and then take your blanket and place it right up against your outer right hip. Place it up against your outer right hip. It's a little supporter. Now let's take the strap end into the right hand. And then take your left hand onto your left thigh or pelvis, so you can feel what's going on in the left side. Now very, very slowly move your right foot just a few inches, 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches to the right. And notice was there any movement in your left hip, in your left pelvis. Draw the leg back to center. Anchor the left hip, anchor the left side of the body, the left leg. If your left knee is bent to accommodate tighter hamstrings, drop your left knee out to the side. And now slowly, with awareness of your left side, we begin to take the right leg out to the right side. Keep the left side anchored and grounded. Anchored and grounded. Supta Padangustasana 2, horizontal Supta Padangustasana. Preparing for the external rotation poses, triangle, gate pose. There may be a little surprise thrown in. Let's inhale all the way up to center. We'll take the strap into the left hand, make the right arm out to the side. Sometimes, and if it's helpful for you, you can absolutely take the thumb into the hip crease. That is the same action we just did before. Keep drawing the outer hip the outer right hip towards the left foot so you're not shortening your right waist. And let's draw the right leg just a few inches across the center line. Keep pressing up through the toe mount, pressing up through the toe mount. So a very active Tadasana foot. And then draw the leg back to center. And we're going to bring the strap into the right hand once more. Left hand can come to the left thigh again if that's helpful. It can also go all the way out to the side. Deep breath in. And then with great awareness of the left side, we take the right leg out once more. Once more. Pressing out through the toe mounts. Ease. Let there be ease. Let's inhale back up to center. Take the left foot up, tuck it under the strap. With the right, press up through both feet. So I know the toes are getting a little squished here. Spread your feet, spread your feet. Draw the thighs away from your chest. And then let's release the right foot down. So again, holding on to the strap. I've got a little slidey here. Place the strap loop around your toe mount, around the toe mount. If your hamstring allows, if your left leg is straight up, let's take the right leg straight. But if you're more at a 60, 70-degree angle, I recommend you keep your right leg bent. All right, the two actions again. While pressing up with the toe mount, you're going to draw the knee into the hip socket. Draw the left knee into the hip socket. And then draw your left outer hip towards the right heel. Left hip towards the right heel. And then breathing. Breathing. Ease in the body. Ease in the breath. Ease in the mind. So notice if there's struggle. Can you do something to alleviate? Let's take the straps into the left hand. Right hand on the right hip. Ooh, I gotta move the blanket. So if you have two blankets, you can just move the other. You have one on each side. I'll move mine back over to the left side. Right hand, right hip. Pressing up through the toe mounts, knee into the hip, and hip to the foot. Check. Got it. And again, let's just move just a few inches. And really focus on the actions in your right pelvis and hip as you take the left leg to the left side. If the right hip is following, if the whole pelvis is rolling to the side, it's not really abduction, abduction. It's just rolling. It's a twist. So we want to keep it in the hips. Now let's take the leg all the way up to the side, all the way up to the side. So it's a question of access again. Do we have access to knowing? How am I moving in my body? What are the areas that I don't see, that I am not aware of? What is dull or not available to me? When we move slowly, we gain more access. Sometimes the mind doesn't like this access and it gets impatient. It gets irritated because it doesn't want to see. So notice if there is struggle in the mind. in a pose? What is it that is bubbling up to the surface that we don't want to know? Let's inhale all the way up. Take the strap into the right hand. Left arm now travels out to the side. Again, let's review the action. Hip towards the floor and towards the right foot. Pressing up through the toe mounts. And then we take the leg just a few inches across. And you notice as you press up through the toe mounts, things get kind of interesting. If your foot is rather passive, it is without awareness. Cool. So create just the right amount of awareness for you. Let's inhale out to center. And we switch again. Either take your right hand to the right hip, if that's helpful, or take it out to the side. Or take a deep breath in, and then slowly release the left leg out once more. Once more. Reaching out through both feet. Last week we connected our souls to our soul. We still are this week. Steady breath. And inhale all the way up. And let's release down. Take the strap to the side, blankets out of the way, draw the legs together. And take the arms straight up. We're going to interlace the fingers, press the palms up. And reach up through the heels, tailbone to the heels. Take the arms up overhead. Lengthen, reach. Extending, full body stretch. Supta Vargulyanasana. That is a hard one for me to say because there's just a lot, it's a long tail of that word. But interlaced fingers is what it translates to. And then let's relax. Take the arms up and down, and we are back in our supine pondering pose. Now there is a central axis. Sensing that axis in your body, but also sense it not just in your body, but as extending out from your tailbone and also extending up beyond your body. So we move around this central axis that has us both tethered, but also reaching. Every pose orients to this central axis. Now let's roll over onto the side. Let's roll over to the right side. So we'll sweep the right arm up overhead and come to lay on the right side. Just bend up your bottom leg, the right leg. I'm just going to have you sweep your left leg back and forth. We can access a little bit more hip extension. Hip extension. We have not nearly as much extension as we have flexion. Flexion, we can take the knee in maybe 90 degrees, but extension, maybe 10, 15. So just sweeping the leg back. It's an action. We use it when we walk, ideally, but we may not. We may be so locked up in the hips that we are walking like John Wayne from our shoulders. All right, sweep the leg back, bend the knee, and let's clasp the ankle, clasp the ankle. And you may use your strap as you draw the heel towards your glute, towards your butt, and maybe press the knee back a little bit, press the knee back. This is like half bow pose. half bow pose on the side. If it's available, straighten out your bottom leg, but that's going to make balance a little bit more challenging. And then let's release this. And we're going to roll over onto our back and to the other side. I'm going to spin around so I have my face towards you. So as we come to land the other side, support your head in a way that's comfortable. And maybe the arm is straight, you can bend it. Bend up the bottom leg, and we're just going to sweep again. Sweep again. Notice as you bring the leg back and forth, how much movement is there in the pelvis, in your low back? So of course we know the muscle now that we are pondering in addition to our quads, it is indeed the psoas. And since it attaches up by solar plexus, we may have a little bit of back bend and pelvis movement. Okay, let's see if the ankle is available. Draw the heel towards the buns. And again, a strap may be helpful. You may also decide that this movement is not for your knee at all, in which case, keep sweeping. Just keep sweeping or pause. Now let the knee draw back behind. You'll get a little bit more quad sensation. And then slowly release. And let's come all the way onto the belly. Coming all the way onto the belly. So on the belly, stack your hands and let the forehead rest on the back of your hands. Slide your right knee up as high as it will go. So you're kind of in a fallen tree pose on your belly. Fallen tree on your belly. And then tuck your left toes under, tuck the left toes under, press the heel back, and then press the forearms down and lift the heart, lift the heart. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. We're in a little bit of a back bend. To keep sweeping your right belly towards the left as you lengthen out through the right knee. Pressing out through the right heel. And slowly release. Slide the right leg down. Take the left knee up. And again, tuck the right toes under. Press the heel back. And just lift the heart. Lift the heart. And now move your belly button towards the left. Nope, that would be the right side. Move the belly button towards the right side so that you come centered on your torso. Keep pressing back through the leg as you lengthen up through the heart center. And then we'll release down. Slide the left leg out. And tucking both toes under. Tucking both toes under. Creep the toes to the nose. Press the forearms down. Lengthen the front. So feel a sense of the shoulder blades drawing down the back as you press back through the heel. So the legs are powerful. The hips are anchored. Press the hips down. Move the belly forward. And then release down. Take the hands under the shoulders. Keep the toes tucked under as we press back to puppy pose. Puppy pose. Lengthening back. Lengthening back. Now coming up to tabletop. To place the forearms down on the mat. Forearms comes onto the mat. And looking at your forearms are parallel to one another. Wrists are parallel, so two straight lines, and your elbows are shoulder width apart. Shoulder width apart. Now draw the shoulder blades down the back, but not harshly, but with awareness. And then slowly stretch the hips back towards the heels again. Stretch the hips back towards the heel. So keep a sense of the sternum drawing towards the chin and the shoulders towards the hips, shoulder blades towards the hips. And we come up again. This time, turn the palms towards one another and anchor the wrists, anchor the wrists. But the palms are facing, then stretch out through the fingers, stretch out through the fingers. Keep the wrists down, don't let them buckle. They want to, I know. Keep stretching out through the fingers. And now take the shoulders back again, take the hips back again. Reach, reach. So we access the fibers a little bit different here. And we come up again. Last one, we turn the palms up, turning the palms up. It's a little easier to get the action of the sternum towards the chin and the shoulder blades down in this orientation. We draw back one more time, but you may find you're not going to go quite as far back in this way here. Notice if the shoulders feel the same on both sides. Can you get the thumbs onto the mat? Can you get the thumbs to spin onto the mat? Breathing. Gaining access. Gaining access. And let's come up. Now spin the hands down. Walk the feet forward. I'm just going to tuck my attire in here. We're setting up for downward facing dog. So hands are now parallel. And we stretch back, lifting up. Boom. Let's take the dog for a little walk. And we'll lift up onto the tiptoes. Lift the hips high, and then let the heels descend. Let the heels descend. Powerful arms. Powerful legs. Balance from last week, balance. 25% weight under each hand and foot. And then we look up and let's walk the feet towards the hands. Take the hands to the hips and we come all the way up. Tadasana, mountain pose. Now, she said, you're going to use your blocks. We're just going to place one on each end of the mat. Let's do low side. And for the knees, for gate pose, it's nice to have a little bit of padding. So I'm going to place a blanket. I'm going to come into a kneeling pose. Standing on my knees. And this can be done up against a wall too. I've been a little hesitant to plan a wall class because I don't know everybody's layout and how easy or much access you have to a wall. So the block is our walls. I'm going to use it just to get grounding for my toes, grounding for my toes. So as I extend my leg up, my toe mounts, just as I did in Supta Padangusthasana. Our hamstrings stretch. I place a toe mount on the block or the books or the wall. I'm stacking my left hip over my left knee. Let's take the arms out to the sides. Arms out to the sides. And then extend. And take the right hand down to the right shin or foot But keep moving the hip back. Keep moving the hip back. So now we're going to enjoy a little bit of a hybrid pose. You can take your left arm and you're going to sweep it towards the floor. Sweep it towards the floor. So I'm both bending forward, looking over my right leg. We're going to lengthen. So this gets us into the QL, quadratus lumborum, on the left side, lower left waist. Sticky little event. Let's take one more breath here, and we'll take the arm back up again. Reaching, and maybe take the hand down a little bit further. One more breath. And inhale all the way up. Let's take the leg in. Switch to the other side. Left leg out. Toe mounts right on the edge of the block. Stacking the hip over the knee. And you'll notice, as I always do, that my right hip and my left hip are completely different. Arms out to the sides. Reach out over. Let your left hand come down to the left shin. And then spin, twist down. Let the hand come to the mat. You can put it on a block here too, if that is what your body is asking you for. And then as you draw towards the legs, so think of Janu Shirshasana, head of the knee pose. Very much the same action that we are engaging here. To access the QL, you may find if you walk the hand further forward, it gets you a different sensation. So keep your right hip back over the right knee. Don't let it travel with you. And then we inhale, we take the arm up. Now we are in gate pose. Lengthen your left sits bone back. Lengthen the spine. Inhale all the way up. And we're going to spin around. We're going to move the blanket off again. And we're going to return to downward facing dog. So you have a block at the end of your mat. Use that for your heels. So as you lift up to dog, keep the heels high. And maybe bend the knees. So we are getting into them hamstrings today. Lifting the hips high. Draw the knees up into the hips. And if you remember from last week, drawing the inner groins back. Inner groins back. And then look up as you inhale. And again, we walk to the hands. Take the hands to the hips and press all the way up. And we meet up again in Tadasana, mountain pose. As you stand in mountain pose, access that central axis of your body. The one that we can orient around and use for grounding and expansion. Rooting down as it extends down from the tailbone and goes deep down into the earth. And then lengthening up through the crown of the head, following this axis up, 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 and extending. Let's take the hands to the hips and we'll step the feet wide apart. Still around the axis. Let's turn the left foot in, right leg out. Left foot in, right leg out. Utthita Trikonasana. Let's take the arms out to the side. And then extend. So triangle and gate pose, very similar poses. We'll take the hands to the shin again. Take the left arm to the sky. But we can enjoy this little QL event, quadratus lumborum. Take the hands to either the block that you may find this there for your use, or the hands to the floor. As you draw the right sits bone back, now access your whole left side. So the QLs, they get into a lot of troubles, a lot of trouble. And we're going to inhale, take the arm up, way back in triangle pose, back in triangle pose. Soften the right knee as you push all the way up. The other name for the QLs are hip hikers. It allows the pelvis to pivot as we walk. Let's turn to the other side. But if our core is unstable or a little checked out, they take over. But they're not designed for the job, so they are not very good at it. So they get tight, tired, overworked, irritated. Let's take the hand again to the shin, way back in triangle pose. And then from here, again, fan the arm down, use the block or the mat. And then lengthen into your right side waist as you creep the arms forward. Invite the breath, gain access. What's going on there? If you have scoliosis, lumbar scoliosis, the concave side, the side that is moving towards the center line, collapsing towards the center line, is going to be shortened here. So one way to gain more access, more balance. Again, let's inhale, take the arms up. And we are in triangle again. Let the center axis around your spine orient you in this pose. So there's both lengthening back evenly and then through the crown of the head evenly. One more breath. And then softening the front knee, the left knee, pushing all the way up. And take the feet a little bit wider. Prasarna Padottanasana. I'm thinking, it would be a pity not to do half moon right here, wouldn't it? Yeah, I see you all nodding. So you might like a chair for half moon, you might like a wall. A counter is really good, a countertop. But we're gonna go at it. So you know Prasarna is coming, but let's do half moon first. I like to start half moon from side angle pose because then I'm already down. We have a block at this end. You can move it to the outside of your right foot. Let's take the arms out to the side. We'll take the hands to the block, hop the back foot forward, move the block, and then lift the back leg high, lift the back leg high. So first ground on your standing leg. Get connected to the earth. And then extend out through the back legs. And when we were on this weird fallen tree in our belly pose, and I said, move the belly flesh away from the bent knee. Now move the belly flesh away from your standing leg. So the belly button comes to look towards the side. And then maybe take the arm up to the sky. Maybe take the arm to the sky. Steady breath. Steady pose. Steady pose, steady breath. And then let's land it. Take the foot back down. We travel back. Side angle pose. And let's sweep all the way up. Now let's turn to the other side. Take the arms out and up. We bend the knee again. Meet in side angle once more. Hand to the hip. Get our block ready for travel or use the floor. I like to hop the back foot forward. So I take my time setting up. Once I get balanced on my standing leg and on my front arm, I begin to rotate. So I pull the belly button away from the floor. Away from the floor. Keep pressing down through your left big toe out. And then maybe take the arm to the sky. Breathing. Anchor your gaze on whatever works for you. Powerful pose. And then slowly land it down. And we'll sweep up. See, wasn't that nice? It's a fun pose. Let's us play with the edge of what's a little scary. Now forward fold. Soften the knees, inhale, lift up through the heart center. And then pivot forward. Keep the front spine long. Hands comes to the floor. Position 2, so flat back, flat back. Let's walk the hands forward for our wide-legged downward facing dog. And then, excuse me, press the knees straight, press the knees straight. You keep lifting the hips, lifting the hips. And then relax the head down, relax the head. Steady. Easy pose, easy breath. Easy and calm mind. And then walk the hands back under the shoulders again. And now for the classical variation, and you may want to repeat the wide-legged downward facing dog. And if you're repeating with the dog, I recommend you take a block for the forehead. As you walk the hands back between the legs. Now, again, a block may be handy because we're going to take the head down towards the floor. Maybe your head comes to the floor. Maybe it comes to the block. Lift the shoulders up as the head surrenders down. Keep the legs strong and powerful. Strong and powerful. So this is an alternative to your headstand. It's an inversion, gentle pressure on the top of the head or the forehead if in downward facing dog, deeply calming to the mind. And we're going to walk the hands forward again. Hands under the shoulders, flat back. And then let's spin about so that we come to step into downward facing dog. Hands to the front of the mat, feet back. And let's take the knees down and stretch back. Child's pose. Let's take the hands under the shoulders, and we're going to sit up. Now, block and blanket. For this bridge variation, take my blanket and I place it. My fringes are facing down because the fringe side, the tassel side, tends to be a little unruly. I got the rounded edge for my neck. And then I'm going to use the block for a passive bridge pose. So with my shoulders resting on the blanket, walking the feet in, and remember the block comes in 3 convenient heights. So you may not choose to go high. Get the block right under the sacrum. And then relax. So it feels very sturdy. Let the breath be easy and calm. So there's a sense of the back of the neck relaxing. Back of the neck softens and lengthens. And invites the chin closer to the chest. And now either stay here or choices are the pretty carney, grab onto the mat with your hands, take the legs to the sky. Or straightening the legs out along the mat for more hip flexion, which is a deeper back bend. If you straighten the legs out along the mat, keep the legs very active. Keep the legs very active. Both back bends and inversions have tremendous benefit. All right, the legs are to the sky or out in front. We're going to bring the heels in, take the legs down, and we are returning into bridge pose. Squeezing and releasing. Inhale, press the feet into the floor. Squeeze the glutes, and then relax. Do that a few more times, just to make sure that the little multifidi muscles that anchors vertebra to vertebra from the sacrum up through the spine have been put back, and notice that we would like them to re-engage. We're going to lift the hips, move the block up. And then you can slide the blanket up under the head, or maybe place it on your belly or under your thighs for Shavasana. So as you come onto the mat for Shiva's pose, the expansiveness of the universe. But let that be, again, your central line, your anchor, your tether. Sense it extending beyond your tailbone, tethering you. Sense it again, expanding beyond the crown of the head for expansion. Your center. Your strength. Easy pose, easy breath. Easy breath. Calm mind. Let each exhalation remind you that you are home. No need to search or chase. You are home. Now very gently, you begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up your knees. And rock the knees gently from side to side. Rolling over onto your right side. Support your head with a blanket or an arm. And then using your arms and hands to press into the floor. And we find our way up into a seated posture. Let's chant Om Shanti, 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 Om together. Take a deep breath in. Om
Shanti, Shanti,
Shanti.
Shanti, Om.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Now, let me stop the recording and tell me all your questions.